career-minded people, candidates who you likely won't be able to reach anywhere else. The truth is, over 70% of the U.S. workforce is on LinkedIn, and posting your job on LinkedIn gives you the best chance of finding and starting a conversation with your next star recruit. It's no surprise a new hire is made every 8 seconds using LinkedIn. So build your winning team by posting a job on LinkedIn and visit linkedin.com/sports to get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports for $50 off your first job post. linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details and safety information.
One of the scariest things that can happen to a guy is that first morning you wake up, you look in the mirror, and you start to realize you're going thin up top. 2 out of every 3 guys are going to start losing their hair by the age of 35. 35! You're still a young dude at that point. You're going to start losing your hair? Then think about it. A year from now, it's all gone. And everybody used to think as soon as you start losing your hair, that's it. It's genetics. It's father time. And there's nothing you can do about it. Well, guess what? That's wrong. 4hims.com is a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men. Prescription solutions backed by science, written by a doctor, and delivered to your door. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Go to 4hims.com/ESPN right now and get started for just $5 while supplies last. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. So go to 4hims.com/ESPN. That's FORHIMS.com/ESPN. 4hims.com/ESPN.
I'm Troy Rafferty, and many of you know about my love for sports and my longtime support for our local high school athletes. One thing these fine young people have taught me over the years is this: whether it's on the ball field, in the classroom, or in a court of law, always work your hardest and achieve the best results possible. And that is the commitment we make to our clients and our community.
Levin Papantonio in Pensacola since 1955.
This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gulick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
All right, if you listen to the show, you probably don't have the coronavirus. That's good. Welcome into the sports show. The Sports Drive is going to have some fun today as we'll break down some Blue Wahoos, new uniforms. They're real blue. And we'll get to more on the biggest things happening when it comes down to home court advantage in sports.
Has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl. Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr. Baldwin beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest. 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba.
Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. I am Chad Brilliante. Glad to be with you here as always, as we have a lot to get to today on the show, as Tom Brady opening up the talks of free agency. I don't think any of the shows have done that already, so I guess we're okay. I guess there's more teams to speculate now, as the Indianapolis Colts, teams like the Las Vegas Raiders, is that what we're calling them now, are the new look, the new jersey for our good friend Tom Brady. Always be close to my heart as he becomes a Las Vegas Raider. JP joining us as well on the show, and not going to say it's a sad day until he's finally gone, but honestly, there's some things in life when it happens, it took its course. At best, we'd get another year out of them. When we see things in life, that something happens where you get a brand new puppy dog and something happens to it, that's a really sad moment. But if old Chaps has been running around the yard, he's got arthritis in 2 legs, going tripod on you and running around the yard, lived a good life. You put him down, it's still sad, but he's lived a good life. Well, somebody's going to get the D grade, the sci-fi actor, the guy that's like the guy in Sharknado version of Tom Brady. A good one. It's a decent movie, but, once in a while to watch if you have nothing to do. I'm getting the looks that it's not at all. It's probably true. But let's give him a little more credit than that. But you're not getting the guy. You're not getting the USDA prime cut choice of meat. And let's just be honest. So the people out there, oh, man, is he leaving? What do you think? Well, has a better chance of seeing ARP than another Super Bowl here. So I'm okay. I am okay. What I'm saying today to a Tennessee Titan fan sitting across from me is I am all right just taking the 6 rings and the 9 Super Bowl appearances, the 4 Super Bowl MVPs. I'm okay just taking that. How are you doing today?
Well, 2 things. One, I hope you're okay with it because it's done. It's over. The dynasty's over. You're not going to see those rings for a while. You can stare at those rings next season and the season after that.
Don't make me get Phyllis on the phone. The dynasty's not over, JP.
Well, my other thing on this, which I didn't expect to get into that first one, but that's fine. I don't know how to say this. Jerry Jones has thought about bringing back Des Bryant, and he thought about it in the shower, is what he said.
The worst part about this story is it wasn't from a source. We usually go through the AP or ESPN News.
He said this straight up to
you
people.
got this information direct. That's what's scary about this. So I'm wondering what's happening here right now, because you didn't say any source. You're like, I just got this info. I was like, well, how did you know he's in the shower? I said, it's not important. But, his first off, when I think Jerry Jones shower, I think like Wet and Wild, like the entire theme park. Like goes down one of those slides, those cool twirly slides you see on one of those cruise lines. Would you try that, by the way? It's one of those kind of things where I think it's like a 50-50 split. No. The cruise ship that has the slide off of the boat and it comes back around. It's been tested so many times. See, I trust things that have been tested by engineering. You're not going to try.
Well, not with everything we see with these cruise ships now anyway, so no, I'm not.
Might as well live your last days going through one of those cool slides if you're going to be quarantined for a couple months.
Well, yeah, if I'm quarantined, for sure. What do you got to lose?
But to the point of Des Bryant, if they didn't want him 2 years ago, why would they want him now?
Well, I think that, look, with Des Bryant, I think they're going to bring him back because, listen, Tom Brady's going to go to Dallas. He's going to want some more weapons. Gronkowski's going to come back with the Cowboys as well. He's going to say, Jerry, let's do this, baby. And it's just, they're going to go win a Super Bowl, and then Tom Brady's going to say, hey, Chad, how about them rings, baby? You said I couldn't do it? Said I couldn't? Yep. Well, how about that? Look at that right there. Just we're gonna get to watch a Super Bowl parade in Dallas, or maybe if it's big enough, Jerry's shower.
Now you sound like Jerry Jones.
We're
gonna watch a parade in Dallas. Yeah, from the stars. We have a better chance to watch the stars.
Well, Tua's going to the Cowboys too, so that's pretty awesome. You're gonna have Tom Brady there for a year. Tua will heal up. Tom Brady's gonna say, deuces, I'm out. May go to Las Vegas. Who knows? Let's see what happens. Mike Mayock. By the way, Mike Mayock's comments. You see that today? He goes, look, we're really happy with Derek Carr. We like him a lot. But if we can, get better, why wouldn't we?
I've learned from marriage and I've learned from life. Anytime you say what you are about to really say, and it's the part after but. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, like, honey, I know you've really wanted me to buy you that brand new car, but nothing good is happening after that unless you're like Oprah and you're like, but I got you a boat and a car, and everybody goes crazy. And you're like, why'd you start with that? But nothing good usually comes after but. You remember that trip we were going to take with the family and the kids we were going to go? Yeah, that's but I got you a gerbil, got you a guinea pig. I don't want a guinea pig. Why'd you even get that? You know, we had to cut back this year. Why'd you even get that? I didn't ask you for that. Sometimes it comes down to it. When you bring up but, there's nothing good with that. 850-623-1330 is the number to be part of the show here today. We're having some fun with you. A lot of things happening in the area as we get ready for Blue Wahoo's baseball season. We got the Cox Diamond Invitational right around the corner. Tonight, we've got also the Pensacola Sports. They've got their banquet out there at New World Landing. It's always a great time with a number of people being honored. But let's go to our phone lines. Caller, who's this?
What's going on, Chad? JSAP Madstack. What's happening, baby?
Hey, what's up, JSAP? What's going on, buddy?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. Just thought I'd chime in, man, on traditions and whatnot, man. Get an opportunity to chop it up with you.
Yeah, we were talking about the best traditions in sports, about what would be that huge tradition. I was watching the Arizona State Sun Devils the other day, and in the middle of a free throw, they open up a curtain, and it looks like some T-Rex velociraptor or somebody like shaking Chiquita bananas, and things are happening there. And it always throws off the shooter, like every single time. Sometimes, you always see those pinwheels in the back or the big fat head of one of the coaches or somebody that has nothing to do with basketball. But sometimes you have something cool, like the Cameron Crazies at Duke. There's people that always try to add that. Like the whole entire stadium in the Superdome is like that for New Orleans. But have you ever been to a game or been part of that, or one of those traditions, something like that just takes over and helps the team win?
I haven't been a part of it personally per se, but there was a tradition, and the funny thing is, this goes all the way back to when I was, pretty much crawling around on carpet as much as I can remember. But my mom, I remember her telling me a story about a sports franchise. I want to say it was a professional franchise, and I feel kind of silly not being able to pick it out and identify it, but you may be able to identify it. But there was a tradition where when the team would win, the fans would storm the field and pull the grass up or something like that, to that effect. I don't know if you ever heard that story before in the rich tradition, in traditions of sports, but that one
like,
right there sticks out of my mind.
Yeah, that sounds like Les Miles, the coach of LSU. He does that as well.
Does he do that really?
He does it in the middle of the game. Yes, he eats it too. He's like, I think he's half heifer cow. But I've heard of that though. There are people that take that. Okay. Sometimes they take it as like a tradition, a memorabilia piece. I think that was a college team that did that. It would be. I can see that more out of a college or a high school than from an NFL team. I think you'd get fined. There's way too many security cameras in the NFL. But I know what you're talking about though. I can't think of it on the top of my mind though. But there is a team that takes a piece of the. Just like if you're a Florida State guy and you get something, or just like the Buckeyes, you get a right there on the helmet, you get a sticker. So if you do something good, it's true.
There you go.
The guys with the most stickers are either really cool, really good at their job, or they're really good at printing out stickers on the internet. So there you go. Either or. Right there. I'd be the guy coming to practice as like a redshirt freshman with no playing time, with like 8,000 little spears right there from Florida State. Be like, isn't this guy a walk-on? It's really good right there.
That is dope. I'd like to take this time while you're talking about traditions, to get a shout out to a local high school, high school in the area. The Milton Panthers have just recently kind of gotten back to the tradition of winning. Congratulations to them. Shout out to them. They actually won their district title this year, and Chad, that was the first time in 13 years that the Milton Panthers have won a district title in basketball. So, big ups to them. They're getting back to that, that tradition of winning. They've got a great class coming up. So they're going to be something to watch here, coming up, as far as local sports go, So big ups to them. And then, of course, also the Pine Forest Eagles.
That was huge today, yeah.
They won that game. They are, in fact, in the Final Four. And I think the last time they reached the Final Four. Might have been maybe like 9 years ago or something like that, or got to the state tournament. But just big things going on, man. In the local high schools. You know what I'm saying? As far as just the traditional winning, some of these schools are getting back to that. So big ups to them. Big ups to them.
Yeah, you talk about Milton. I get to call their games and stuff like that. It's so much fun. Coach,
that's right. DJ, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, my man? Coach Murdoch, I tell you what, that's a difference maker right there when you talk about a coach and what he's done for that program as well. Getting those guys to buy in. Look, Milton has always had the athletes. I don't think there's ever been a question with that. Sorry, Pace. Those Pace people, that's a big rivalry. But, look, Milton's always been it. It's a matter of getting those guys out there, getting them in just to buy into that program. He's done such a good job. And, yeah, this year, look what they did. You hate it ended so early for him because of how good that team is. But one thing with that, I tell you, with Coach Murdoch and his squad, you always know, one, they're going to be really good. They're going to play good defense. That's the difference when you look at those guys. Being able to get those guys to buy in on defense first, and then we'll bring the offense. Because a lot of those teams that come in there, listen, they surprised a lot of teams this year just by playing good defense. Because, well, let's be honest, everybody loves the offensive side of the game. And I tell you what, it's going to be exciting to see those guys continue to move on. They are so much fun to watch. And absolutely, Pine Forest today, that's awesome.
Yeah, beating Jones today in that 56-48 win as they'll move on to the state. And they've always had a good team, and we've seen them over the years have success. But it's not easy. People forget, when you see a team have a lot of success, if it's a pro team, it's easy because they can have a Kobe or a LeBron or someone like that for a long time. These teams, they graduate unless kids that really don't get held back, or now they have the new rules where you can transfer into other sports. I don't love that rule, but it's a rule. We've seen guys like Jacob Copeland go from Pine Forest to Escambia and start at both schools, and good for him. He's doing a great job at Florida now. But I think, though, that these coaches that do a great job, people need to understand they're doing it with new lineups every single season, and that's incredible to think.
Absolutely, and you hit it right on the head. My son, himself, was a 3-year starter on varsity for Milton, Marquise Allen, along with DC Barbour and quite a few of the other seniors. But you said it yourself. 3 years. You come in, you play 1 year of freshman ball, or you might step up to JV. But 3 years, and then it's on to the next level. So. And of course it is tough. DJ hit it, man. It's very, very tough for these coaches. Us as parents and of course fans of the school, the franchise, the sport. You want to come in and you're like, man, hey, we want to win 25 games. You know what I'm saying? And it just almost never happens like that. You know what I'm saying? So it just was an outstanding season for those boys. Where it was a lot of fun to watch. And again, going back to what TJ mentioned, man, their identity being a defensive team first. I think their average, they're holding teams, good teams, in fact, on an average of about maybe around 40, maybe 43 or 44 points a game. And, with all the talent in the area, in the region, it's a very, very tough thing to do. You take one teams out on an average of about 65 points a game.
Yeah.
And that was, in fact, actually the team that they ended up beating by 1 point in this championship game was, in fact, at Christian. So hats off to Boy Murdoch, the whole staff. It's been an outstanding road, and I am looking forward to the future. So, yes, it looks like they're getting used to that once again.
Well, JSAP, man, I appreciate the call, and I know that you're a guy locally. For the people that don't know, he's been in studio before because he's not only a caller. This guy, he's got real skills. We make predictions, and if we're wrong, we get to show up the next day. JSAP, one of the best rappers in town. 850 concert at JSAP up on stage. Guys like Pastor Troy, Yin Yang Twins. People, I still got CDs. Yeah, that's right, kids. CDs when we used to put those into the car before you had all these other cool things. Just ask Alexa to play a song. But I'll tell you, you're a legend, man, in town. It's awesome. And I know you got a couple events coming up. What's happening in the next couple of days?
Yeah, look, man, I appreciate it, but absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm gearing up right here, just trying to grab a little something to tank before I head over to the show this evening. Around the sanitation room.
Hey, Jeff, it's breaking up a little right now. It's
Oh, I'm sorry. Man.
No, it's okay.
Is that a little bit good?
No. I'm not going to lie to you. I was going to try to say something again.
Technology.
There you go. That sounds a little clearer.
Is that okay? There we go. I apologize, but no. Tonight we're gearing up, man. We've got Slap Frost review. We got DJ True Justice. And the whole gang coming through. They've been touring nationwide. I believe one of the guys, the gentleman that sung on the Looney single, 90s hit single, I Got 5 on It, in fact, will also be a part of this event. So that's going on off of Plantation Road, Night Moves, Pensacola. That's tonight, 7 to 11. Tomorrow, we've got the Indie Leap Year Music Party, and that's going to be on 12th Avenue at Dolce and Gelato. A lot of local talent's going to be in the building. And, yeah, shout out to the Duke and Duchess, Deanna Marie and Carmine, both of those local artists. They're the ones that put that together, brought together a stellar lineup of upcoming talent. And, I jumped on the opportunity simply because, I feel like Pensacola, we need more of that. When you talk about indie events, anything in the indie variety, we can do them just as big. We just need the support. And that's exactly what we're getting around to doing. So we got that. And then, of course, we have the Manager of the Year, on the acting side of things, Chad. We're going to be getting back to filming, man, season 1 of the new award-winning series, Sacred Heart. I believe you were broadcasting live from the premiere, as a matter of fact, that we had over there at UWF at the Commons Auditorium. Had a great review of the pilot episode, and we will be getting back March 15th. We'll be filming all throughout Pensacola. So if you happen to drive by and see a bunch of camera crews and big crowds, by all means, pull over and say hello.
Well, that's awesome right there. It's great to see so much talent in here. When 850 concert, we had so many great rappers out there and so many incredible. It was incredible talent. So, like I said, it brought me back some good memories. I Got 5 on It actually is sort of how I base my life. I remember people would buy dinners, steak dinners, and the bill would come back and be 4 or 5 people out, $250, and I said, I got 5 on it. And that from this day on, I've always based my reputation on that. So that's pretty cool to see. So, hey, JSAP, I don't know if it's nice, but hey, we appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing more over the next 2 nights. Hopefully I can make it out after we get done with the show here. And, man, it's great catching up with you, and I appreciate you weighing in.
Absolutely. Hey, Chad, PJ, guys, I appreciate it. And before I sign off, I would like to give a final shout-out, man, to both Marquise Allen and DC Barbour for being named to the Pensacola Subway All-Star team. So March 26th at Hartzell Arena, those 2 guys will be getting it on with the rest of the best talent in all of Pensacola, man. Congratulations to both of those guys.
That's awesome. Hey, appreciate JSAP, and good luck tonight.
Yes, sir. All right, Chad. PJ, take it easy.
I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in there, 850-623-1330. Yeah, he's awesome, man. He got up on stage. I mean, was representing as much as I could out there. Not to say the people.
Don't say it like
there was
that.
like 3,000 people out there that were there for big reasons.
Say represent, you got to say it with a little more attitude.
I mean, I was just happy to be up there representing.
You're a South Florida guy. Come on, I know you got it in you.
I did. I did. Not today. I'm not gonna look. I put on my we're at a rap concert face that day. Not today. I got to go.
What is that face? I want to see that.
Ask
face.
Bob Knight about it.
No, I'm not asking Bob Knight. I don't feel like getting hit with a chair.
When we come back, I'm going to get into more of why the NBA fining D'Angelo Russell $25,000 for resting. Should have got it for wrestling if you're going to get $25,000. But why this is a slap in the face to the whole Minnesota Timberwolves organization. That deserves a couple over the last couple years if you look at the record. We're coming back for more. It's a Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and Blab TV.
Locally owned Jackson Pace Pharmacy has exciting news for ED patients. Tadalafil, the FDA-approved generic for Cialis, is now here, and the cost savings are huge. Save 80% on the 20-milligram tablets, 30 tablets for $80, less than $3 a pill. A prescription from your doctor is required, so stop by Jackson Pace Pharmacy, 2256 West 9 Mile Road in Pensacola, and cash in on the savings today.
Join us at Seville Quarter March 7th from 12 to 7 for Cordova Crawfish Company's Crawfish for a Cause, presented by Truist Bank and Sandy Sansing dealerships. Tickets are $20 in advance, $25 at the event. When you help yourself to 3 pounds of Cajun crawfish, corn, potatoes, and sausage, you're also helping your community. Through our partnership with Rally Pensacola, Crawfish for a Cause supports local families struggling with childhood cancer. We'll have live music and drink specials throughout the family-friendly event, and other food options are available. Buy tickets and learn more at crawfishforacause.com.
At Aaron's, we believe in the magic of wintertime more. That magic that comes from good people out there, always helping others, working hard, and providing for those they love, no matter what. So why are there so many stores unwilling to work with some good people? Just because your credit isn't the best doesn't mean your TV or refrigerator can't be. That's why at Aaron's, we work with you. So you can get flexible lease-to-own plans that fit your budget. Because good people always deserve better. Aaron's. Easy, beautiful, affordable.
Hey, I heard you need some work done on your house. Here's somebody I like.
Ooh, thanks.
Wait, what are you doing?
I am verifying your recommendation on Angie's List.
My word's not enough?
I just like to get hundreds of second opinions.
Finding a qualified person is easy. Just check Angie's List. After all, we have info on more pros than just about anybody. Say you heard about a good electrician. We have reviews on them and thousands more, plus ratings, photos, even special offers. Find exactly what you're looking for at angieslist.com.
At the end of the day, like, I look at Drew coming back and, maybe I'm not playing quarterback, which is ultimately where I want to have an opportunity to play in the NFL.
On this week's Adam Schefter podcast, we sit down with Saints restricted free agent quarterback Taysom Hill.
There's obviously a process of being a restricted free agent, and, my agent and I are going through that process, and we'll see what happens, but I'm in no hurry to leave New Orleans.
Find the show on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting app.
Saturdays are live and local on Sports Call with Davis Allen and Justin Patrick.
Can you guys actually say laissez les bon temps rouler?
Laissez les bon tenter.
Laissez bon temps rouler. Laissez les bon temps rouler.
Boom! You heard that? It's sports talk with a lot of chill. Every Saturday from 11 to 1 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
That was funny.
We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Get up what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up, first shot, come strut walking. A little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious, somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby.
And welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Simulcast each and every day on Blab TV. JP, I got to say, I was driving right there down Creighton, getting back to the show, and I've got a Patriot tag on there, so I'm used to the looks. I'm used to some guy. Maybe it's because I cut you off in traffic, but that's rare. Right? You've seen me drive. Just 100% speed limit, doing the right thing. Sorry, I'm laughing. But what I will say, though, is it felt nice for one of the first times to be driving down the road, knowing that when I drove down the road, that the guy next to me in the pickup truck that had the Texas license plate that was at a Houston Astros logo on it was getting more dirty looks than I was. That was fun. I saw like 4 people drive by him. They skipped me with the Patriots tag and just grilled him. And for the first time, I wasn't the guy on the road that had the most hate. Let the haters ball begin. Let's go to the phone lines. 850-623-1330. Caller, who's this?
Hey, y'all. It's Jonah. How you doing?
Hey, Jonah. I'm doing well.
Okay, so I wanted to comment on the recent tale that you told about driving down Creighton and whatnot with your team and the Astros. Now, would you say that that gentleman that was wearing the Astros paraphernalia was representing, or was he representing, as you said earlier? I need to know for clarification.
No. Listen.
He called you on it.
No, for first off.
Well, it depends on the outfit
I was
they were
say,
wearing.
No, I was going to say that. That was the outfit, and on top of it, when you're at the 850 concert, I was representing. So it's different. It's completely different. I just want to make that clear.
I want to make sure you understood the difference, Chad, because I heard, are you from South Florida? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
What part? Are we talking Tampa, USF?
No, I'm from the streets of Opelika. No, I'm just joking. I'm actually I'm from Melbourne, Florida. Actually. Not too. It's not too south. Yeah, Melbourne, Vero, that area. Yeah.
Yeah, Brevard County, right?
Yes. Now I feel like I'm getting FBI data checked here. But yes, that is correct.
No, I'm just making sure you're not a Florida Tech fan masquerading as you should be a fan up here. I
Listen,
heard a lot of stories about the Space Coast, Chad.
Well, awesome right there. Andy Russo's basketball camps, I used to help out with that. Florida Tech right there, the Panthers.
Makes sense why they haven't had a winning season in 16 years. All right, let's move on.
What is it? I wanted to call in and talk about the Astros, though, because I heard you were obviously giving them a little bit of hate, Chad, and I get that. When you're a Patriots fan, you get dogged in a lot. It's nice to dish it back every now and again when someone else gets caught. I don't get the big deal with the Astros. I get people say, oh, they were cheating. So what? It's a pro sports team. This is just as much entertainment as WWE is, just as much entertainment as college football is, and we all know what goes on behind the scenes of college basketball. It's just cheating. If you get caught, you're going to get in trouble. If you don't get caught, I don't care because you're winning. I know it's unpopular. I want to see what y'all had to say, and of course, I'm sure, as always, there's going to be some callers that talk about Florida State as usual.
Jonah, though, I want you to – what has been, though, besides speculation, though, the worst thing the Patriots have got caught cheating for, or anything taken away from them besides a fine from Bill Belichick? What has been the worst thing?
Counting
deflated balls?
Are we counting Bob Kraft?
Well, I mean, look, Kraft, Macaroni, and Sleaze can do what he wants. That's sort of irrelevant from football, though. Yes. Do they have an owner who's an old guy that likes to maybe do things down in South Florida with people that should not be doing things with him? Yes, I would agree with that. But
you're the one representing SoFlo, man. I get it. You got to stick up for your own. And I understand Bob Kraft is almost a native. I get you defending him. But the only reason they have those rings is because of Brady. Not because of Belichick, not because of Deion Branch, not because of Randy Moss, because one good year, not because of anything else. Eddie Bruschi, Brady the GOAT got them that stuff.
You know what's funny about that, though?
Any Patriots fan does not know their name Drew Bledsoe. They're not a real Patriots fan. I'm sure you agree with me on that.
Jonah, we've had many conversations, and you are well-educated, so I'm going to reverse this and then drop the mic on you. What you just did was you said the reason that they won all these Super Bowls was for Tom Brady. Tom Brady, during the course of the last 2 decades, is the only Patriot that really has gotten a slap on the wrist with a 4-game suspension for the deflated footballs. So what you're saying is, according to the laws of the NFL, the biggest cheat and the only guy that ever missed a game inside the stadium is the reason for all their success. Boom, I dropped the mic on you. It's your turn.
I'll take my L. You all have a great night.
You too. See, look at Touche, back at him right there. Look, we know that was a complete Bozo the Clown kind of thing with the deflated football. It's not that call, but isn't it nice to reverse the drop mic on you?
So I'm
sorry.
confused here. Didn't they?
That's okay. We knew that for a couple years.
No.
Okay. No, I'm just.
You really want to start this? You want to talk about dropping the mic?
Okay. Well, that was. Listen.
No, but
you're going to go Patriot football with me right now.
He said that the only reason they won those Super Bowls was because of Brady.
No, he said like Brady's the man. He ended it with Brady.
Yeah, they won it because of Brady. Like he was the reason.
Nobody right now in Houston's like Altuve's the man, bro. They're like this guy's.
And that's why Brady got punished was because they knew it's Brady. Like that's the guy. We can go after anybody else. It doesn't matter if we don't go after Brady.
No, well, first off, what he got penalized.
What?
First off, if I put a polygraph right here, what he got penalized for, even the worst haters, Arlen Specter in Philadelphia right now would have been like,
explain
that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. It's like 0.5.
Why do you punish the quarterback if the quarterback's not the man? Like why?
That was a completely different case though with the PSI, because he went after Roger, and remember the U.S. Supreme Court stopped it and ended it to the point where they weren't going to do anything else. And then Roger Goodell came back, the ginger hammer, the judge, the juror, and the executioner. And he came back and he wanted to reprimand. He wanted to reprimand him for it. And he went out there.
He came after the man.
Yeah, and he spent $2 million of the NFL's money to go after him in court costs, and then he got a 4-game suspension. And guess what? All that did was give at the time, 40-year-old quarterback 4 games of rest, and they go on to win the Super Bowl. That's what they did.
I'm not arguing that.
They did it in the year they beat the Rams. I mean, they gave the guy 4 games rest, and then
I think what it all comes down to is it's over, Chad. Just accept it. Enjoy your rings. Be sure to put them up and lock them away because it's the last ones you're going to get. The Cowboys, they're going to have their time here soon when Brady, or the Titans, maybe if we get lucky, it's not going to happen. We're going to re-sign Tannehill, and that'll be okay. Or Kansas City. They're going to go win, and that's all it's going to be, and you're just going to be waving, hey, until you change teams, which you seem to do quite often, whether you're LSU or a Kansas City fan or the
Chiefs is fraudulent. I'll admit to that. It was a sticker for a day.
The Saints fan. By the way, the Saints
I like
fans
Andy Reid and the cheeseburgers. I'm not. No, the Saints fan thing was that was more of a joke.
No, it was not a joke.
We have a thing. It was
not a joke until you lost 3 hours later.
We have a thing that said
after the Vikings fan mean mugged you.
What is said on Sunday stays on Sunday. At that NFL tailgate show, there's been many things said that we do not.
It wasn't just said. I had it in writing. I have the picture in writing.
Yeah, it's a fake picture.
But it's real.
Trick
Absolutely
photography.
Real.
Trick photography.
100% real.
All I'm going to say is that if you look right now
the
at the teams,
over. I agree. That's perfect time.
And
to get
if
a break.
it is, it's fine. I've had my 20
Well, you don't have a choice. It's not like you're saying,
20
oh,
years
it's
in the
fine.
sun. I'm okay.
Well, of course it's
they
fine.
They need to go after Austin
happen.
Hooper. Who's going to go after the Hooper scooper? Who's going to go out
Jared
there?
Stidham is not going to work with Austin Hooper, so I don't know why you want Austin Hooper.
I don't like the incumbent right now. Let's go ahead and talk some more. Here's the deal. You would think I'd go down the path of why would you rest a player when your team stinks and a guy's already had rest and it's the NBA where you can play every night. But no, I'm not going to go down that path. T-Wolves, you can find any type of excuse in the books, really, not to let Nosferatu go out there and suspend you guys or give you a fine. Like Adam Silver, all you have to do is not say he's fine and we're resting him. That's it. Like you'd be like, oh man, he woke up and his daughter was playing princess with him and he hit him with the magic wand, broke his pinky toe or injured his pinky toe. A pinky toe extension, whatever it is, bad hip, lazy eye, too much earwax. It does not matter. It does not matter. You just put something on there. Greg Popovich is famous for this. Just go ahead and put something on that list and go ahead and rest them. And there's really not much they can do to prove it. But to just say, hey, we're just going to rest you, you're about to get fined. And that's exactly what happened to Minnesota. So shame on you for not having any excuse in the book of why. You know those games, flu-like symptoms, like those commercials? Flu-like symptoms. That's all they have to do is put that. Kawhi Leonard had the flu 2 days ago, and he just went for 38 the other night. not buying any of that crap. They're just putting that out there to save themselves. And Timberwolves, you get a big fat F for not being able to save yourself in this matter. 850-623-1330 is the number to be part of the show as we talk a little about the best college athletes when it comes to the most electric players, where you just decided to sort of chop down on my Michael Vick comment. Nothing to do with dogfighting. I'm just saying most electric player. And you decided to go with Orlando Pace, which is fair. He's fair. A lot of good pancake blocks. I'm just saying. I liked Orlando Pace a lot.
True.
Met him at a Hilton Rialto.
I want to put this out there. The Astros have got through their first inning of their spring training game against the Nationals right now.
He was actually
without a hit by
pitch.
Too.
Really?
But they scored 2 runs, so they obviously know what's coming. So just say against Scherzer, they scored 2 in the first against Scherzer.
That would take some mighty fine cojones if they try to cheat this year
in spring training.
If they are doing it, if you see a guy banging, somebody's not doing the right trolling. Like people are going out there. You need to dress in all Houston gear with like an FBI kind of like like the earpiece. What was that? Yep, got it, Dusty. Bong, bong, and do that. That would be funnier to be all in that way. That's how they should infiltrate. The other guys are just mocking them. We go all out. Get like 4 guys who wear the exact same thing, look like Secret Service style. Bong, bong. Get that? What was that? Yep. 2 for a curveball. Gotcha. What? We're changing it? They change it? 4 for a curveball? All right. Boom, boom, boom. Make this happen. First off, I think this is getting way out of the realm, but for the people that said they didn't see this happening, they took it to a whole new level. A whole new level when they found out Jose Altuve was running in for what was supposed to be one of the biggest moments in sports history. Well, in baseball history. And instead, what the Kirk Gibson running the base path, having a chance to do the fist pump, turned into a traitor to a guy that gave every 5'5" guy hope that one day they could win a World Series and maybe ride Dumbo at Disney. Just maybe. Still can't. You got to be 5'6". Got to be 5'6" to ride. I've seen that. Space Mountain 5'7". We're coming back for more. It's Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and Blab TV.
Imogen and I started Jewelers Trade Shop in 1956.
Our goal at Jewelers Trade Shop has always been to give our customers the best experience imaginable. It's something that my grandfather instilled in my father, and without a doubt, my father has passed on to me. Those basic core goals and values that shaped our business 56 years ago are still very much alive and a driving force behind Jewelers Trade Shop today.
For 3 generations, the story continues. Jewelers Trade Shop in downtown Pensacola.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
First Take, Your Take, with Jason Fitz.
Remember, it's not that long ago the 76ers over-exceeded expectations in the playoffs, right? So suddenly it became they are the future and the future is now. Trust the process became this thing that works. Now they've hit a wall. And it's staggering to me to hear Embiid talk about he doesn't know if he's getting the ball. And Horford to say, we've got issues in the locker room, but we'll keep that private. Guess what? You just made them public.
1 to 2 weekday afternoons on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
The Mobile Boat Show opens March 6th at the Mobile Convention Center. It's the biggest show on the Gulf Coast, with the best prices of the year on hundreds of boats, accessories, tackle, and more. Whether you fish the Gulf or cruise the Bay, you'll find a boat that fits your budget. And it's fun for the whole family. March 6th through 8th, indoors and outdoors at the Mobile Convention Center, with lots of downtown parking. It's presented by Hancock Whitney Bank and worth a drive from anywhere. Don't miss it.
Football season never ends on Talk Football with Coach K.
Stidham is tearing it up at New England. He may well be the incumbent to Tom Brady there.
Former head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Coach K brings his expertise as he breaks down the game, the players, the coaches, and the front office. Plus, high-profile interviews from the biggest names in football. Talk Football with Coach K every weekday from noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1.
What do you want most in your truck driving career? Does your current company offer it? Schneider offers the best combination of the 5 things every driver wants. Top-notch pay and benefits. Home time your way for every stage of life. Respect for you and your time, including 24/7 support. The widest variety of driving jobs for all experience levels. And stability. Schneider is 85 years strong. Get what you want out of your driving career at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
This is Davis Allen from Sports Call with Davis and Justin. You're listening to the Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Under heavy rain, thin line between joy and pain. It's a long, strange trip, it's all insane. You ain't never gonna be the same. Living life through the night, thin line of a lightning strike. Sometimes the only light when the moon is tucked away. Pistons pumping, minds are racing. It's hard to sleep, man, when I'm shaking. Bad news surrounds me. It's always found me.
And welcome back, Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Simulcast each and every day on Blab TV. Chad Brilliante, and now I guess I have to say the El Jefes. Now it's
we're back, baby.
You're back.
We are back.
How are you feeling, by the way?
I know
you had. We don't have to get. I know, but I know you went through surgery and stuff.
I'm feeling good. I'm almost 100% now. So, just got to roll with the punches.
Well, we're glad to have you back, and I know a lot of fans are as well, because we'll get to some legitimate sports talk in this segment. And I will say, looking at the Florida Gators last night, now I've claimed LSU. My wife went there, so I bleed purple and gold. But basketball season, I understand. Last night, though, Florida, it shows how good Florida can be when they want to play. And I think sometimes offensively, in college basketball, the style of play can hold back some really good players. But you saw guys last night that were going out there and making some big shots, and they early in the game, they had 29 points with 10 minutes to go in the first half. I mean, you're not going to keep that up, but that's on pace to score almost 115 points. 115 to 120 points. You're not going to get that in college basketball. And the Florida Gators show that they can play with the best of them. LSU's already going to be a big team. They're going to probably get about a 6 seed in the tournament, 5 or 6 right now. But Florida, I think that was the legit win they needed. And you can prove something. I heard JP saying today that his coach said you can never get anything out of a loss. There's no such thing as a good loss.
Right.
But the loss to Kentucky, if the country was watching, showed that Florida can compete with the team that's going to get a top seed, probably a 3 seed in the tournament. So I think Florida's, so far, the last couple weeks has proven that they're punching their ticket to the dance. They just don't need to screw things up royally.
I think you're right. And really, after the Kentucky loss, they lost at 6 points at Kentucky, and really it was a 2-point game with about 30 seconds left. And the Gators really lost no ground in the net. The net is now what's replaced RPI because it's more sophisticated and does a better job of kind of quantifying the quality of the teams. And they've lost no ground in KenPom, which is probably the best analytical site relative to college basketball. And then the win at home against LSU helped them a couple spots. I think the Gators are right there. They're kind of right around 30. Now, 68 teams get in, but there's a whole bunch of automatic qualifiers that get in that probably wouldn't get in otherwise. So as long as the Gators can win probably just one of the next 3 games, they've got Kentucky at home, they've got Tennessee and Georgia on the road, probably a 19-12 record because their non-conference schedule was so aggressive. They're probably in the tournament.
Yeah, I'd say 60% of the SEC right now is a bubble. I mean, if you look right now, South Carolina won yesterday in overtime against Georgia. You had Tennessee that was on the bubble. Then they lost to Arkansas, who's on the bubble. You've got teams like even LSU's not guaranteed if they lose out. But then you have other teams out there right now that seem to be just lingering back and forth. And it seems like the entire conference this year is that way.
Well, you mentioned South Carolina. Yes, they're on the bubble. They're probably in right now, but they can play their way out of it in the next 3 final conference games. Arkansas now is getting healthy. They got Joe back, and so he's he was scoring about 30 points a game in the 8 games before he went out with injury. Tennessee's on the bubble. They're good enough to get in if they play well, and LSU now has slid behind Florida in both KenPom and also in the net, and so they're kind of on the bubble too. They probably need to win at least one of their next 3 and maybe 2, and then play well in the tournament. But you're right, there's like 5 teams that need to do that.
Well, right now, currently, according to Joe Lunardi, the Big Ten has 10 teams. And don't be like, they got every team in. No, that's not how math works in conferences. Just don't tell your kids. It's like week 0 in college football. Just how do you play a week without kids? Just
never happened.
Earmuffs. Yeah. Jonathan Grenard wants week 0, though. He doesn't.
Our buddy Jonathan Grenard.
That's right, Sam. I told him that as a joke. I was like, none of those sacks counted, right, man? He didn't play. You start week 1. He was like, come on, bro. I'd like 4 of that. But Big East, you have 7. Pac-12 is actually legit this year. They are. Bill Walton has been saying the Conference of Champions for like 40 years, and they've been awful. But this year they actually but they're better this year. The Pac-12 has 5, the Big 12 has 5, the ACC 5, and the SEC 4. However, you do have about 4 teams right now, like you said. You've got Mississippi State, you've got Alabama, you got South Carolina, you got the possibility, and they're way on the fringe, but Tennessee's kind of thing. There's a couple teams that have a shot. So it should be fun down the stretch, and we'll keep an eye on it. Looking at some of the other stories going on, you got the Combine. And somebody asked a question the other day, would you put more, if you were a GM and you're in that seat, you get the fat cat seat right there. And sad news with Van Jefferson, too. We had a chance to go down there. Great guy. Really was a nice guy. I'm not going to say we're pals. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. He's not.
Good, I will. We're pals.
No,
Hey, listen,
he's
you
like
guys-
he's like a brother to me. No, he's not. He's not like that.
Well, to me,
he's a
that's
guy.
fine,
No,
Chad.
you also spent about 7 minutes with him on the field, but we had good conversations.
Yep, that's all it
but
took.
he was.
You guys connected with him.
He's a nice. You can tell real quickly.
Chad brought up Patriots, and he said, no, I don't want no part of those cheaters. And that was it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow.
I'm about to name drop a guy that nobody really knows, but Matt Geiger. Remember the old center, Georgia
Yes,
Tech? Yeah, Matt
absolutely.
Geiger, 7'1" guy. Yeah, he stiffed me. When I was like a 7-year-old kid, I asked for his autograph at the Orlando Magic Arena, and he goes, $20, kid. And I was like, I'm a kid. First off, I get allowance.
That was
but
a Geiger counter.
It was, yeah. And first off, I couldn't. Even if he said it, I couldn't reach him. He was 7'1". I'd be like, come here, kid. But the thing was, at that point, you realize right away a guy is a bleep, a complete bleep. From a standpoint of a guy like Van Jefferson, he's out there with the kids and all those guys. Jawan Jennings was really nice from Tennessee, a lot of these guys. But Van Jefferson was having fun conversations. We said we have a number of Florida fans around here. I told him my mom, my dad, my brother went to Florida, and he goes, oh, they're cooler than you. But all of this stuff, it was a fun time. And then, it's sad to see that news, though, because he legitimately could have been something in the NFL. He had great hands. He was consistent. And you look at it, Florida's receiving core this year was really hard to tell because you had so many players that split time. That if you went to a school like a Central Michigan, Chippewa, which I don't condone any of the kids, Jim McElwain's still there, but if you went to a school that you were the man, like Corey Davis was at Western Michigan, Van Jefferson could have been a Corey Davis at Western Michigan. You know what I'm saying? He would have been the guy. But you had Pitts, you had Hammond, you had Cleveland, you had all of these guys that were splitting time, and he became just another piece, a good piece, but just another piece. But he was, this is sad news, though. He's going to be out now, and doesn't look like he's going to be back here anytime soon.
Well, to keep things in perspective, it is the injury is called a Jones fracture.
Yes,
and
it's in the right
kind
foot.
Of the base of the small bone in your right foot is what he's got, and it's correctable. This is not a Liz Frank situation where you don't know if the guy's going to come back or not. This is something that's correctable. Now it's going to hurt him in the short run, but maybe not in the long run. And so, and I think he'll be fine. He's actually played through it. He didn't even know he had it. This was a asymptomatic injury, and so he's been running, and making plays and impressing everybody in the Senior Bowl week. If you listen to Chris Landry or any of those guys that were those guys that are experts on college football that were there, said Jefferson's going to get a spot. He's probably going to be a second-day pick here, the second or third round, and so now really the combine is all about medical issues. It's 90% of it is whether or not you can pass the medical, and they'll survey your entire body to see if you've got any lingering injuries. It's not about, the psychological tests are probably number 2, and all that stuff you do on the field is 40 times are probably number 3. But the main thing is whether or not you're healthy or not.
Yeah, you were talking yesterday, JP. The guy, he said during the medical exams they surveyed their whole body on Wednesday, and the guy goes, "Whoa! Combine starts Thursday," and then the guy ran. But I didn't know what was happening with that conversation. You were there.
Yeah, it was a little awkward. But that Jones injury you're talking about is something that a lot of these guys they're actually finding now when they're doing their physicals. Thaddeus Moss, they found that. He had the same injury. He was going through his physical, and they were like, well.
That was the same trainer from Wednesday.
No, different guy. This is a real guy. Okay. But now Thaddeus Moss is out. He's not going to be able to do anything. And Thaddeus, they asked him about it. Well, did you know about it? He said, no, I've been working out and running and doing all my stuff. I had no idea about this. So it's an injury that I guess it seems to just happen whenever you do these type of things that you can play on, but long-term it's going to be terrible for you. But I agree. Van Jefferson, look, I told him. You heard me, Chad. You were right there. Whenever I told him, he was like, man, you're like a brother to me. I was like, I appreciate that, man. I need you to tell Chad that because he's getting jealous. But I told him, you need to go to the Titans. And he was like, I'd love to go to the Titans. That's the first person I've ever heard say, I love to either root for the Titans or go to the Titans. So that's why we're bros. He said, I'd love to go to the Titans. I was like, oh, are you sure you're okay?
If he's bros, then I don't know. I really liked this guy before this, about 5 minutes ago. I really was a fan of him. But I will say, when we come back, we're going to talk some more on the Combine, ask you guys the question, would you rather, if you were the GM, look at game film or what you see in the combine. 850-623-1330. We'll get to a fun Twitter account, Asterisk Tour. And you probably know where that's happening. And if you say Patriots, we will hang up the phone. Also, locally, Pine Forest ladies basketball is now state champions right there. How about that? Or going to the state championship. That's why. Okay, give me a second here. American Heritage. They're playing against American Heritage. American Heritage. You and Jonah are on the second Something Is Said tour to jump on it right there. I was already.
You're a baseball player. You know about jinxes more than anybody.
Well, let's go ahead and say right here. We do these shows a la carte. I'm getting this news right here, so there's a lot going through my brain. So I'm able to say some things. Yeah, there is. Just going to go ahead and say, though, American Heritage, Saturday at 2 p.m., the championship game. Jeff knows.
Absolutely. And Chad, of course, is the baseball player now known as Infinity.
That's right. I am known as Inf. That is
BYU
true.
on the basketball court and Infinity on the baseball field.
Can it and go to break.
Tap Book Bar and Bistro is the South's premier destination for high-energy sports entertainment. Enjoy award-winning food and a wide variety of draft beer selections with a local flair. Featuring a giant video wall, dozens of HD TVs, and a smoke-free video poker bar, there's no better place to be for sports entertainment. Join us at Tap Book Bar and Bistro, only at Beau Rivage. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best 4G LTE networks, same as the big carriers, but just for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, saving you up to half the cost of the big carriers. No contract. Full court coverage, half the cost. Straight Talk Wireless. Everything for less. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
I'm Troy Rafferty, and many of you know about my love for sports and my longtime support for our local high school athletes. One thing these fine young people have taught me over the years is this: whether it's on the ball field, in the classroom, or in a court of law, always work your hardest and achieve the best results possible. And that is the commitment we make to our clients and our community.
Levin Papantonio in Pensacola since 1955.
Isaac, you missed the winning dunk and cost your team the championship. What are your thoughts?
Well, I switched to Boost Mobile and got a super fast network and 4 free Samsung Galaxy A20 phones, so even when we lose, I still win.
It was an easy, fast break, and no one was near you.
You know what's fast? Boost Mobile's super fast network.
They're calling your shot the greatest miss in history.
Boost Mobile's prices are never a miss. I even get 4 lines for $25 per line per month.
Oh, look at that. The fans are burning your jersey.
Yep, the fans get it. My Boost Mobile network is en fuego.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get 4 lines for $25 per line per month with unlimited data and 4 free Samsung Galaxy A20 phones, all on our super reliable, super fast network. Step up with Boost Mobile. New customers only. Limited time offer while supplies last. Requires 1 port from eligible carrier and activation. 1 free device per line. Customers who use more than 35 gigabytes of data during a billing cycle will be deprioritized during times of network congestion. Offers and coverage not available everywhere. See boostmobile.com or retailer for full details.
Saturdays are live and local on Sports Call with Davis Allen and Justin Patrick.
Can you guys actually say laissez les bon temps rouler?
Laissez les bon tenter.
Laissez bon temps
rouler.
Laissez les bon temps rouler.
Boom!
You heard that?
It's sports talk with a lot of chill. Every Saturday from 11 to 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
That was funny.
This is Northwest Florida's all sports, all the time station. From Destin to New Orleans, sports fans come here for ESPN and local sports talk. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun.
And welcome back, Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. A lot of good games going on tonight. Bracketology, only a couple weeks left before March Madness. One of our favorite times right there, and really more than ever, wide open. I mean, you've got Baylor, you've got Kansas. Gonzaga, according to Mark Few, based on the ratings of NBA lottery-type players, or just players in general that are draft-worthy. And draft-worthy in the NFL is one thing. Draft-worthy in the NBA is huge. There's a lot of great players, those guys from those Valparaisos and those Dayton teams, not Obi Tobin, but guys that can put up 25 points, but they never get drafted. They go through the D-League or one of those games. I don't know. There's like a Macon Crawfish team I was watching the other day on ESPN Plus. There's leagues everywhere now. But these guys that can dominate in college from one of those Horizon leagues, the MAC, the West Coast Conference, but they never make the pros. That's a select few. And now with the international game, you're cutting back almost half. I mean, you're cutting back out of the 60 guys that are going to get drafted. You only got 30 guys maybe from college. Think about it. If you take the top 25, you took one player from each team, you're already now only giving 5 players left. And some teams like Kentucky and some teams like the Baylors of the world, they've got more than one. So to say that that's not a lot of guys that are going to be drafted, and knowing right now that you've got that many openings across the board should be pretty cool, because it's going to be one of those kind of years where it is wide open in college basketball. It's going to make it more entertaining for those 6 and 7 seeds to get a shot. When we come back, we'll get to more. Brady open to new home and free agency. Already talks of teams like the LA Chargers, Las Vegas Raiders, Indianapolis Colts. Get to more on that and why Madison Bumgarner has a cooler name than his counterpart.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming back on the Sports Drive, we'll talk some local news. Big night for Pine Forest as the girls basketball team heading to the state championship. We're going to talk some Blue Wahoos baseball. We'll talk some college hoops and the combine getting rolling.
Has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl.
Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Baldwin beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest, 992 the Gatlin, 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba. Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome back to the Sports Drive here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Simulcast each and every day on Blab TV, alongside JP and Jeffrey D, the El Jefes, joining us to have some fun here today. By the way, Jeff, I was saying earlier, but it feels nice driving around with a New England Patriot tag out there on the streets and knowing I'm not the most hated guy. Guy was coming back in a Ford pickup truck, and he had the big Astro star. Not one of the small back ones, but the one that takes up the whole back of the truck window right there. Usually it has Salt Life or a picture of a deer, but this one was, right there, big Astro star. And guy wasn't even trying to remove it. He was just getting looks. Some lady driving a Prius. She was in her 70s, went by him. Just staring him down right there. Good fan, man, by the way. Good fan of baseball to know this. But I will say, it was nice to be driving and not be the most hated guy on the street.
Well, that's interesting because I'm sure a lot of Patriot fans probably wear that hated tag.
Oh, we do.
As a badge of honor.
It's 10-year-old kid yelled at Peg Leg Pete's. You guys are dirtbags. I'm like, first off, where are you getting this language? You're 10. And then I was like, what's your team? And he's like, the Jags. And I said, kid, you weren't alive for Mark Brunell, so you know you stink. and Brittany was like, don't pick a fight with a 10-year-old. And I was like, yeah, what's
best $10 I ever spent?
Paying those kids? You sit in trucks with kids all day at Peg Leg Pete's?
No, I just paid. Whoa!
Well, I was wondering
where are you going with
where's
this?
This best $10 you paid the guy?
Jeez.
Gosh, I remember Mark Brunell and the.
That's the last time they've been relevant.
I guess it was after the 1996 season. The Jags went all the way to the NFC Championship game.
I remember that team.
And,
Tony Baselli,
gosh,
Natron Means.
It was 24 years ago.
Tony Brackens, some good players.
Yeah, great players, absolutely.
They had a good team. Oh, they were relevant a couple years ago. But some guy knocked down a pass, and they went to the Super Bowl instead. JP, I'm forgetting. The team that knocked down the pass.
I'm checking the Astros bean counter right now. Things that matter. Sorry.
Jeff, would you know who that would be? That beat them, that could have been relevant? They're trying to be popping Bortles.
That's
a big problem
Jags
right
would
there.
have been popping Bortles for sure. But didn't they? Who'd get?
I don't know. I think it was some guy named Gilmore, and it was the Patriots. But all right, let's move on here to our next. I forgot for a second, but I think I
the answer to
recollection.
95% of his questions.
Recollection, I think.
Probably
recollection. Wisconsin
way,
and Michigan. The bean count, by the way.
Yeah. So I'm wondering. I had to go back and watch it. There was a wild pitch by Scherzer. I wonder if that wild pitch was coming after an Astro, and that was why it was a wild pitch. It says wild pitch by Matt Scherzer.
Well, Bregman got hit today, but he got hit with a breaking ball.
Yesterday. That was yesterday.
Look,
yesterday,
the Nationals are the only team that shouldn't be pegging anybody. If I'm the Nats, I'm like, you know what? We beat you with your cheating ways. I'd just be like, listen, we don't need to step down to your pettiness. That's what I would be like. I'm sorry. We don't have to step down. Everybody else, they lost maybe because of at one point they got beat by them. Nationals, you beat them straight up. Anthony Rendon looks like he can beat any polygraph. The kind of guy that these guys listen. They went out there. Juan Soto, they beat the trash can bumping. They beat it. So at this point, if I'm Washington, I'm the one team that I would applaud them. If I would mock them and applaud a standing ovation. Way to go, guys. Way to cheat and still be losers. Way to go. That's the word. That to everybody is the worst kind of shame. It is. As guys, we all know that. The worst shame is if you cheat or do something and you still lose and they find out about it. That is the worst shame. So based on that, yeah.
JP, I understand that the only team that's not going to throw at him is the Red Sox because they don't.
It's true. We gotta put that name out there so the FCC can hear. Red Sox.
See, I've watched now 2 Red Sox games, and not one person is booing them or anything. And I'm like, this is the Patriot way right here. Everybody, nobody is even paying attention that we also let our manager go. Nobody said a word. I love this. I love it. I can't. It's happening right in front of our face. It's like OJ picking up the glove, and he's like, "Aha! It doesn't fit here. Look at this."
I just want you to remember that the Red Sox did the smartest move, getting rid of Cora immediately, and you were like, "What are they doing? Why are they getting rid of this guy? Hasn't done anything or whatever." And now there you go.
Got me. This was a salt.
There you go.
You were on a deep sea saltwater excursion that day. I was salty as heck. I was coming back that day from when the Pats had just lost to your Titans. That was you.
Celtics are still next. I want you to understand that. As soon as they make the playoffs, as soon as the playoffs start, something's going to come out.
Find out Jason Tatum's from the Dominican. He's 40. He's been playing. But
it's crazy. I mean, it seems like all the Boston teams have like.
All right, you know what?
Kind of
Getting back to Zdeno Chara.
I think Phil Esposito is still throwing tacks out on the ice for the other team. Like, running.
Okay, if you're at the Combine and you're a scout, would you rather be ranking the Combine or would you rather be looking at his tape? If you don't know the guy, let's say he's from Illinois State and he's about to run the Combine, would you rather, and you have one choice to grade this guy, give me the videotapes of this Illinois State
you would want
game
the tapes.
Absolutely.
We always want
Absolutely.
the tapes. You want the tapes over the Combine.
We definitely want the tapes.
Then you burn the tapes later.
Because,
that's the theory. But
because there's a lot more to football than just straight ahead speed. I mean, that's a leading indicator.
Yeah.
But, gosh, if you've got, especially if you have a lot of tape, a lot of video of the player and how he performs on a play-by-play basis and whether he gives 100% effort and his game speed relative to not just his sprinter speed. I think that tape is absolutely the way to go.
Yeah, because listen, coaching before, I mean, coaching quarterbacks and then corners and things like, you have to go back and grade your players after every game. And when you watch film, it's so funny because you find those things that those guys were sneaking behind your back and taking plays off or whatever, and you're like, oh, okay, well, it hurt your grade, and you bring it up and things like that. But you also see twitches and tells, not only for your guys, but if we're watching the opponent's film, you see everything they're doing out there. From when they take a play off, they're running the football. If you see their star receiver out there takes a play off, things like that. The tape doesn't lie. At the Combine, you can be the biggest con artist in the world. They getting interviewed, you can go lie to these guys. How do they know? I mean, it's as simple as that, and it's what you're supposed to do. Listen, they've come on. Well, let's think about this. Are you going to go up to the guy and be like, "I'm a horrible person"? Yep. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic.
Well, hopefully you're not either of those.
But are you going to tell an NFL guy that, Chad? You might. I don't know.
Wait a sec. Why would first off, regardless of what's going on
here,
here,
why are you stammering? Answer my question.
Why was I pointed at during the course of both of those?
But that's the whole
there.
Combine. They even said it on Get Up
because
this morning.
You're coming off Mardi Gras.
Exactly. But the thing is like you can go lie to these guys. They're never going to know. The Combine, you can run fast. That doesn't mean you're a good football player. You could pass a physical, okay, but you haven't done anything. When they go back and watch the film's not going to lie. But obviously these guys at the Combine, they're here because there's been film study on them. They know they're probably the best of the best when you look at it. And look, there's even small college guys. Those guys don't get offers up here to the Combine unless they see you on film. So I think it's not even close. You got to go film study on that.
I would agree with y'all, but to the point of because the biggest thing with the Combine too is football is a game played where Julian Edelman, a seventh rounder as a quarterback, or you got a Darius Hayward-Bay who runs a 4.25, and you look at a guy like an Anquan Bolden, little bit sluggish for a receiver when it comes to speed, but you can see he catches everything. He makes the plays. There's always those guys.
Though?
You see that tape. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I agree with this. I'm agreeing here. I've never been – what the Combine to me shows is two things. It shows guys that have taken the last 3 months or the last month and a half. Depends your bowl game. If you didn't make a bowl the last 3 months, or if you're in a championship mode the last month and a half and look like you've been hanging out at Golden Corral, or are you the kind of guy that put the work ethic in? Because work ethic is huge in that. Because if you're the kind of guy over the time when you're off, you finally got done with your career and you know you're about to get paid, if you're one of those kind of guys that shows up and you're in just as good of shape, it tells a lot about your character because that's a lot of work ethic. It's tough. I've been saying for about 17 years now I'm getting back on that diet since high school. 17 years. That work ethic is not there yet. But I will say,
don't let it die, Chad.
I'm just saying, one day the passion will be there, right there. I ran a 4-minute, 48-second mile. I can't run the mile. I breathe hard when I'm up the stairs. So I am a living, walking proof of this.
Isn't there like a bug that comes out of the ground every 17 years, like cicadas or something?
Yeah.
I think
the ALB, right there.
That's
who I am.
I think that once those things come out of the ground and start sticking to the tree and shedding their skin, I think Chad will
one day
probably get on that diet.
Chad is more like a turtle. They're gonna, when you look at their longevity, they don't change who they are. They're gonna be their same person the entire life. They're gonna say, "Yeah, I'm gonna go on that diet." Not gonna happen. No, I've seen you. I've seen how you operate. It's not going to happen. Just accept who
I'm
you
just
are.
glad I'm just glad I have good genes, or I would weigh like 400 pounds. You've seen me eat a whole nacho plate. You both have watched me witness me go to town, especially when Jeff's buying.
I go to the gym and stuff just so I can do that kind of stuff and have a little sanity, I guess, where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to eat this big plate of nachos. I may go to the gym later.
Yeah, I have
Probably
2 gym
not, maybe
memberships,
tomorrow.
but I do not go to either.
I've seen Chad eat 4,000 calories in a 1-hour period in the studio.
Yeah, when his mind is
before we went on TV,
when
it was
he doesn't
bad,
focus on anything, he'll just continue eating. Like he doesn't realize he's doing it.
He doesn't, but he burns it off, and so that's as long as he's staying thin, then that's.
I interrupt children's soccer game. It gets me at least 4 hours of burning calories.
Well, it's
like,
easy to burn those calories. You stay up to 4 o'clock every morning.
Well, listen, I con a lot of people into believing I'm a soccer coach, and I'm running up and down the field. And I go, we didn't hire this guy. Is that one of the sanctioned coaches? Like, come on, kids, let's go. High fives. I'm always giving everybody high fives. I'm into it, and then go on to the next practice. But I will say, if you look right now at the way that I want to bring this up with you, Jeff, because let's change names because you're both Jeff. Intellectual Jeff. I want to say when you talk about, he knows who he is. It's true. If you talk about the college football landscape when it comes to everything about athletes getting paid for their brand, is there any way? I know how you feel about this, but is there any way we can make this work? Because it seems like California is going down that path. Florida might have the possibility of making that happen. Now, it's different. U.S. Supreme Court ruled the 1992 ruling. They overturned it, allowing states to be able to mandate their own policies on gambling, restricting betting. That's different because people are already doing that. This is something where this is going to be detrimental because I said, to me, you're a buffoon if Florida and California offered players to get paid for their brand and you end up going to another state. Because why, if you're a star player, why would you not want to make $15 to $20 million when we don't know if you're going to be a Gunnar Keel? We don't know if you're going to be a Kyle Wright, a guy that doesn't end up working out, doesn't end up getting paid. Gunnar Keel's not getting endorsements. What is he? Is he doing insurance? I mean, we don't know what Gunnar Keel's doing, but he was the number 1 rated guy coming out. It's not always that simple. So if you have your option to get money right away for your brand, you want to jump on that. Is there any way this is going to work? Because frankly, to me, it has to be autonomy or we're going to fail.
Here's the thing with that. Your likeness and your brand is kind of a window dressing for a much deeper issue, and that's illegal recruiting practices. And Florida's going to jump on this before California. California's starts in 2023.
Yeah, we're smart. We get it.
2023. Florida's going to start later this year, and so Florida's going to get a jump on everybody. But Alabama and Georgia and South Carolina and Mississippi and Louisiana, everybody else is going to pile in because they don't want Florida to get all the top recruits. And the thing is this, that it really depends on how the legislator writes the law. I mean, if they're out of the jurisdiction of NCAA, which looks like they will be because the NCAA doesn't have purview over those states, then the actual state can write a law such that you can pay anybody for their likeness. So, like I've given the example before, if you want to win the national title, you simply get the top 5 offensive linemen who have no market value at all, pay them $200,000 a piece to come and put them on a sign outside of your car dealership that made $8 million the previous year, and suddenly you're going to win the national title. And so this isn't about likenesses. This thing is about opening Pandora's box to allowing pay for play. That's what it's about, and so people are going to lose sight of that. I mean, if they think that this is some Pollyanna thing where, okay, we're going to be able to pay the guy because of his likeness, and it makes sense, and we can quantify it. No, you can't quantify it, number one, but that's not what it's going to be about. This will allow the bagmen of the world that are paying players right now to get off the streets and say, like, we don't need to pay them anymore because we can get the car dealership down the street to pay everybody, $100,000 a piece.
He was alluding to Bagman about this. So talk about a little bit about what you think is going to happen long term.
Bagman? What do you mean?
I know that's what they tell you to say. What do you mean? But to talk, I know that's your line, but I mean, you could talk the truth here. We're all friends. Everybody listening.
And this on radio?
That's
no,
okay.
I can't talk the truth.
It's
I'm going to pull my combine and say I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
No, I don't. I just think this is.
Hey, Richie, a guy that sounds like JP just joined the show. Richie, what's happening today?
Hey, I'm
What?
just here talking about. I don't even
Now
know.
you're getting stereotypical on Richies. Apparently, that's what they sound like. Every guy that's named Richie out there. It's like, well, why do I have to sound like I'm street hustling?
I think outside of the states doing this, look, I said it yesterday. I mean, it's simply if the NCAA comes out and says, well, you guys, if you want to do this, you're not going to participate with us. I think if you had enough support behind it, enough states and universities to do it, they could abandon, put the pressure on the NCAA and abandon. I think it'd be interesting to see how that's going to play that cat and mouse game with them. I think that the NCAA had an opportunity to get ahead on this. They didn't. But I think with this whole pay thing, it seems, I hope it's not going to happen. I really don't. But if we're going to do this, I think everybody has to be paid evenly across the board if you're going to do that. Now, once again, I want to make sure my stance, I do not agree with this at all. These guys are already getting things that, like the guys that are going to make the money are already making money. Like this whole poor college player thing, I don't buy it. Look, I've been there even at a small college, and I wasn't poor. I was taken care of. I got to go to the chiropractor. I got all the best care. I got the best uniforms, the best clothes, things like that, the best food, whatever it was. I was taken care of. Let's not act like these guys are like slumming on the streets. I'm sorry, they're not. And if you believe that, well, you're a fool to believe that. But if you're going to pay these guys, there's going to be a problem if you're paying the quarterback $2 or $3 million and you're paying the offensive lineman $5,000, because these guys are thinking like, well, why am I getting paid $5,000 when he's only successful if I'm successful, if I'm busting my tail to protect him right here? I understand the likeness, I get it, but what happened to you? You got to do this when you go to the NFL. I mean, I know you can talk about, well, these universities are making so much money off of these guys. Well, that's business. You want your business to strive, because then Alabama can go get these big buildings. They can build the best equipment here. They can go do whatever they want to put themselves ahead of the game so they can continue to be the best and win championships and things like that. These schools have been doing this forever. I think if you want to pay these guys, I disagree with it, but there's going to be so much problem because what is a guy? I mean, just think, Chad. If I'm doing the same job as you, if our job is equal, it's equally important for the success of ESPN Pensacola, but I'm getting paid 10 times more than you, it's going to tick you off. Whether you agree with it or not, it's going to tick you off. I mean, I can't believe we're at this point, because it's just a shame.
JP, I don't think that we're going to have to worry about that. And the reason I say that is because if we're going to allow for anybody to get paid for their likeness, it's going to be a free market. And so it's not going to be about the quarterback getting more than the offensive lineman, because, as I mentioned, these car dealerships going to step in and buy the top 5 offensive linemen. And so you're going to get paid for what you're worth, and it's not right. Again, if we're thinking this is going to work in some kind of structured format where the quarterbacks, are getting X and the running backs are getting X, that's not going to happen. It's going to be a free market where anybody that if I have a $3 million in the bank and I want to pay the middle linebacker $200,000 and the outside linebacker $250,000, I can do it and just say, you're on my sign out here. And so that's off the board. The whole thing is off the board because there's not going to be any way to prevent it. You're going to be able to pay whoever you want to pay, anything you want to pay them, and the whole likeness thing is just ridiculous sham.
Well, not only that, let's talk about the one-time transfer rule. This stuff happens. This brings the transfer rule even more. That's a big part of it. If they bring the transfer rule, if a guy ticks you off, and think about it. Think about what a guy would say
if he got paid a ton of money and then he's like, peace out, I'm tired of this guy because some guy offers him more, the worst thing that guy can do is be like, paid you $200,000, bro. And he's like, yeah, that guy paid me $500,000.
It's basically
and now it's a bidding war.
Now it's semi-NFL is all it is.
Now all of a sudden you get manila envelopes like the guy. Yeah.
And the transfer portal creates that kind of divisiveness between schools. And so guys like, I'm going to enter the transfer portal because, XYZ school is going to pay me $300,000 to go over there because they know that I'm critical to them winning the national title.
Here's the deal. What I can't believe I'm saying this because some of the biggest shysters are the agents. But and some are good at their job. Look at Richie. Jimmy Sexton's face just looks like the kind of guy that like plays Bill Paxton as the car dealer from True Lies. Like he just looks like that at all time. Like, hey, look at me. He was at one point for the Tennessee job bidding 3 coaches against each other. And he was representing all 3. Imagine that. Be like, hey, Jimmy, am I looking good? Be like, yes, you are, bro. Yes, you are. And the other guy's like, well, you just had a meeting with the other guy. And he just was pretty excited leaving. Isn't that the guy going for the Tennessee job too? Maybe. But, well, what about me? Hey. You're like, wait a second, this isn't right. But Jimmy Sexton gets paid a ton, just like Scott Boras, And Scott did a good thing with the internship program with the Kobe Bryant for the family. So that's a positive note. But I will say that good for them getting the money. But I think, I hate saying this. I'm like fighting against what I believe, but I feel like the only way that everybody can sing Kumbaya and it'll ultimately work is if the really, really good players end up getting some kind of pay or some kind of note that they're going to get paid for their brand when they get out of college after 3 years to the NFL. So it won't affect and why I'm saying this, and this is what I'm saying, because if you keep the NCAA rule the way it is today, you keep the sanction of the teams, the games, it doesn't matter about Alabama or Oregon or Florida or UCF or any team. Someone's like, why did they throw that team in? All of these teams, it does not matter because you're still having to go 3 years. You're still getting $52,000 is what it costs the average Power 5 conference player for rooms, board, travel, everything it costs a meal. These kids, you know how much it is? I was looking up a book. We were joking about the ALB yesterday, Asian Longhorn Beetle. There's a book right now for $500.
Not a joke, Chad.
This is not a joke. This isn't a joke either. I had an Amazon gift card, so I was looking up $562. There's a book right now to learn about the discovery of animals and pesticides. That's a lot of money for a book. Physics books in college. You've sent 4 kids, to school. You know how much money it costs for kids to go to school these days. If you don't get bright futures, you don't get that, you could be hundreds of thousands in student debt when it comes to student loan debt if you go to a law school or medical. We're talking huge numbers. So these kids getting a free ride and get a stipend and get that, they are, in a way, getting paid. But I do want to say, if you had something for the really good athletes, because that's who I'm talking about, not Blankenship. I like his shades for Georgia, but not him. But I'm talking about guys like Johnny Football or Tim Tebow or Jameis Winston or Tua's or Trevor Lawrence's, polarizing figures that change the dynamic of a program. If you had something in place where one of these guys, where an agent after 2 years can come to the guy or after a year and say, you know what, we're going to get you $100 million. I'm signing you to a $100 million endorsement. We've bid on you. $10 million of that is guaranteed regardless of what happens. $20 million is guaranteed. If they want to do that for these kids, how is that going to affect the overall game? It won't, besides agents bidding on these kids, but it's not besides. This is where it could go wrong, is if the Patinos get to the agents and then they say what school to go to. But that's happening anyway right now.
Well,
that is happening anyway.
Not just that. I mean, you're right. I mean,
I'm just trying to.
But there's not a model that makes sense that you can pay the individual players. I mean, what is going to be on jersey sales? Okay, if it's jersey sales, then I want that great offensive right tackle. And so I'm going to guarantee him I'm going to buy 8,000 of his jerseys and pay him.
That's why I'm saying nix the other stuff.
$200,000. So, but it's not. But how do you do that? How do you legislate that? You can't do it.
That's why, to me, it'd be fine to drop this whole thing. Look at Josh Sitton, who made a lot of money, good person, back in the community. Good to see Josh this week. And his daughter goes to the same school as Leighton, and I get to see him. And Josh, awesome guy, Catholic zone, UCF. But I think if you talk to guys like Josh, they weren't expecting a ton of money in college when they played. They knew that they were good enough when that scout and those people came and said, hey, you're a projected early rounder, second, third rounder. They saw the possibility of making some money, getting an agent, and putting that path together. I'm talking about a certain individual, the Tuas, the names that we know, that everybody is salivating to get to. Those are the ones. Jameis Winston, besides legal costs, was shown by Forbes magazine to be worth $19 million to Florida State, his brand. Johnny Manziel, he was worth $22.8 million, according to Forbes, for his brand alone. If those guys wanted to get talked to by somebody for that, whether it's an endorsement deal for Gatorade, Pepsi, whatever it is, if they wanted to get that and an agent or a company wanted to talk to them, they should have the right to do that. Because then you say, well, what about the offensive line? Well, society's going to dictate. Gatorade, they're not coming to the backup punter. No, so those kind of things are given up.
I'm not talking about society. I'm not talking about the free market. I'm talking about somebody that want some booster that has unlimited resources.
That's why I'm saying you nix
that. Wants to win the national title. I mean, how do you nix that? I mean,
how
do you differentiate
nix it right now, though?
Some agent that's going to pay the guy and some booster that's going to pay the guy? How do you do that?
That's already the big corruption scandal with Patino and Adidas.
But you can't do that, though, Chad. I mean, you can't differentiate. I mean, because the booster might say, well, I'm an agent, too. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, the NCAA has no resources to legislate anything. They can't even catch anybody on an FBI wiretap. And what are they going to do? But
now they don't have to.
Wait, what do you mean they don't have to? This is going to be the biggest mess that we've ever seen in our lives.
From my standpoint, what is the negativity to that? Is that the company like Gatorade is going to get talked to by a coach to have them spend money to go to their school? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm trying to figure out, this is a way to keep the sanction of college football holy. That's what I'm
So
trying.
you're talking about Gatorade? What about the car company? I mean,
well, Gatorade would be good for you. I'm just
yeah, that's right.
Exactly. Say, Florida gets all the top play.
But I don't think you can legislate this. It'll be Pandora's box. It'll get out of control immediately.
I see what you're saying. Is all these companies that the guy was an Auburn booster would go to. I get that. I get it.
It's
but
pay for play. I mean, if you want to do play for play, then that's okay. Then let's go ahead and say we're going to open bidding for any player in the country. Amateurism is over, and you can just pay whatever you want to for whatever guy. And that's why the NCAA. That's why the NCAA was hanging on to this, hoping, praying that they could prevent this, but they can't.
It's honestly, we've done a lot of shows together, and we all are educated
we've been talking
graduates.
about this 5 years ago.
No, from a standpoint of, look, we like to have fun on this show, but we are smart people in this room that have done a lot of research. We do like 4 or 5 hours of research all the time on things that we don't get to. But I will say, though, for this matter, there's not a perfect answer. Sometimes there's not a perfect answer. You know, if you're in a relationship that's not going well, but you got an awesome family and you've been together for 30 years, I'm not going to be the one to step in and tell you, hey, if you're not happy, move along. Yeah, well, you know what? You've had a home for 20 years. You got 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a perfect answer to everything. There's not a perfect answer.
The NCAA knows that they can't prevent this, and so they're kind of punting to Congress and saying, like, can you guys help us out here? Can you guys override the states? Probably not.
All we can guarantee on this show is that there's an incumbent coming to New England.
Well,
that's
not only that though. I want to make this comment so I can understand where we're at. Joe Burrow still has 9-inch hands.
Oh, that's right.
All right,
and
Jake
for
Fromm,
everybody out there listening, you can still send all your 9-inchers to jp@gmail.com. Go ahead and send those pics into them. I know you have now Bitdefender in your computer, so you should be
I
good.
had to. Thank
all
you.
right, so go ahead and send that into him, and the hands, and make sure that we'll measure up. It's like the hand bucket challenge.
Well,
exactly.
Jake Fromm, I think he has 8 1/4.
It's sort of a
inch
job.
hands.
So what would it be called?
Jake Fromm's 8 1/4.
I think his is like 8 1/4, and I just watched him throw a football. It's magical. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could throw a football with 8 1/4 inch hands.
What if you grow out the nails? Isn't that part of the extension of your fingers?
Well,
according to Guinness Book, it is.
What
if you coming in going like LaQuisha from the nail salon? I'm just saying. Yeah, now you're going with 15 inches. And that's cut them right before practice. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back,
we're actually a break behind.
A break behind.
Thank you for saying that out loud. We were going to make it up with incumbent commercials. We are coming back for more. It's a Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola.
Just felt there's a huge need in Pensacola to bring foot and ankle services, specifically orthopedic foot and ankle services, to this area. There's so much growth in Pensacola. I wanted a freestanding orthopedic foot and ankle center to do this, and as far as I can tell, this is the only one really in the country that's freestanding. Most orthopedic surgeons are part of a multi-specialty group. So we offer on-site x-rays, on-site CT scan, and on-site MRI. They can come to one place.
Visit NielsenOrthopedics.com to reserve your appointment today.
What if your brother
or your husband?
What if your son came back from the service with a spinal cord injury?
When they volunteer to serve, we expect our country to be there for them if they are injured.
For more than 60 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has been fighting to ensure that we receive all of the benefits that we've earned.
Thank you, Paralyzed Veterans, for helping my husband.
My son.
for helping my brother.
You too can help. Visit pva.org, a public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
First Take, Your Take, with Jason Fitz.
Remember, it's not that long ago the 76ers over-exceeded expectations in the playoffs, right? So suddenly it became they are the future and the future is now. Trust the process became this thing that works. Now they've hit a wall. And it's staggering to me to hear Embiid talk about he doesn't know if he's getting the ball. And Horford to say, we've got issues in the locker room, but we'll keep that private. Guess what? You just made them public.
1 to 2 weekday afternoons on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Here are the ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM contest rules. You can win one prize per household per contest in any 30-day period, unless specified by individual contest rules. All prizes are non-transferable, non-redeemable for cash, or exchangeable for any other contest prize. Prizes must be redeemed within a 30-day period of winning and must be 18 years of age or older to win. For a complete list of rules, visit ESPNpensacola.com.
His football career started as a quarterback at Pensacola High. It culminated as the coach of the Buffalo Bills. Now, Coach K. Stevenson talks football every day at noon on Talk Football with Coach K.
Kareem Hunt got pulled over last week for speeding.
This guy's been in trouble over and over and over again. Now, if they get him out of this, he will get in trouble again.
Noon to 1, weekdays on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
There he is right there. Don't call him a running back. Jalen Hurts is out there on the field for... Look, I don't blame him, especially after somebody just 2 years ago has set the precedent of a guy that was being told to be a different position. And he's the MVP of the league right now, a quarterback, Lamar Jackson. I mean, people were saying that...
Chad, don't you do it.
What, talk about Lamar Jackson? But I'm saying, and then Jalen Hurts won. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be. No, I'm talking about
Lamar Jackson, the running back.
Lamar Jackson, the quarterback. I think your brain has.
I just think you don't understand how their offense works, Chad. It's not my fault. By the way, Brian Lewerke, 10 and 5/8 inch hands.
Very excited.
That's a man right there. How about that?
Ooh, dude, they could get palm a basketball.
Lewerke. Kelly Bryant out there throwing for no reason. I was sorry, that was rude. 850-623-13. Sorry, Kelly. I
think if you're coming back with
he could be a solid XFL.
They dropped.
Yeah, he's a big Kelly Bryant fan. He didn't like that comment.
Want to tune in?
Yeah, he's would you get his XFL jersey now?
Kelly Bryant?
Yeah,
he would be perfect for the XFL though.
Well, he will be going. He's not going to be a starter in the NFL. He was but he was mediocre at Missouri. But
hold on. That doesn't mean that you're going to go to the XFL. You can make more money.
He could be a Trevor Pryor at receiver. He's actually that athletic.
Yeah, everybody's heard of Bear Bryant, but he kind of throws like Beer Bryant after like 4 or 5.
Kelly Bryant's not good.
Speaking of Princeton quarterback right here,
like 5 or 6.
Kevin Davidson.
This is what it's all about. This is really what the combine is for Kevin Davidsons to throw.
Kevin Davidson's
No, my
excellent.
best friend Laurent Robinson from Illinois State, the Redbirds. He ended up playing in the NFL with the Jags, the Falcons. He
Ryan
called
Fitzpatrick said, excuse me.
What?
Ryan Fitzpatrick? Where did he play?
Don't care. It was Laurent Robinson was Laurent. Yeah,
thank
I know.
you.
Okay, Jay Fiedler, Pride of Dartmouth. Okay,
the guy that beat you. Yeah, I bet you don't care.
First off,
Maybe if you did a little more research.
What an insult to the Ivy League schools. Illinois State is nowhere even near. It is in the Horizon League. So you just went south on us there.
Princeton. Thank you.
Actually, it's the Missouri Conference. I think.
Princeton.
I'm off
What Princeton's Ivy League is that? Am I off on that?
I was talking Laurent Robinson, and
I was talking about I was talking Kevin Davidson. Then you jumped on that Illinois State false comment or statement you made,
so
and I brought it back to our original.
You interrupted my segue.
No, what
to
I was
your
saying, what I
conversation.
was talking about was important. That's what I was trying to get to, instead of Illinois State, which is fake.
There was a point. Okay, I'm going to talk now. The point of this.
Yeah, we're done. Don't worry. Me and Jeffrey D are done.
We're not done. Well, there's people out there. This is what I'll say. The point of this was like Kevin Davidson. Laurent Robinson was a guy that nobody had ever heard of. He got his chance at the combine. He ran a 4.38. They liked him. They drafted him. His stock went up from a 4th rounder to become a guy after an injury in Atlanta to get a shot. Then Tony Romo, when Des Bryant went out, he became his number 1. He was one of those fantasy football warriors that got 7 receptions for 80 yards for about 4 weeks in Dallas, got paid a ton by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he suffered his 4th concussion. And Andrea Kramer of NFL Network did an article on him. He said, look, I just had 2 kids, and I can't even walk outside without seeing, right now the trash. I've got the worst migraines, and end up retiring from football. And people looked at him and, said a lot of things. But it's guys like that have a chance because of the combine. That's where the video, because we can watch 100 videos of Mr. Davidson from Princeton, and we're not going to get anything out of it because we'll revert back to the old big slappies I get from UCF, which is, that's great. What's great about Mackenzie Milton? He puts up 600 yards and beats teams by 70. But guess what? Doesn't play anybody. You're up by 30 against Stanford in the first quarter. You don't play anybody. And that's all you hear. So for a guy like him, you can watch 1,000 tapes, and you're like, oh, that's great. That's great the guy threw the ball 100 yards. That was against Davidson. That was against Fordham. You're like, yeah, he threw the ball 100 yards, dude. Be like, yeah, against Brown.
Doesn't matter. His
so it
hands
doesn't
are
matter.
8 inches.
So to all of this point, that's why the combine is, because all you can measure him is by exactly what everybody else is measured by.
Thank you for making my point I made during the break. I appreciate that.
About what?
It's the exact point I made during the break.
Well,
I appreciate that, though. Thank you.
And Chad has been talking about the Ivy League. He's talking about
I did not bring up any of the Ivy League until this conversation.
Princeton and Brown, and Chad is actually the smartest baseball player that ever didn't play in the Ivy League because he understands infinity.
I do, and beyond. Big Buzz Lightyear fan, by the way. That's my nickname, Buzz Lightyear. There you go. Some of the other stories going on here. Congratulations to Pine Forest, the girls' basketball team. They're going to the States.
States?
That's terrific.
Going to the States, man. State championship.
That's
Gotta get you into it now,
we used
by
to
the way.
say going to the chip. Now it's going to the
What do you
States.
call it, the S-tickle or something? The States, man.
It might be in Alaska. We don't know.
The States. That's what you call it,
Well,
man.
no, what was that other thing?
I don't know. I was given
what?
something.
Less tickle.
The S-tickle?
That's what
Is it S-tickle?
you tickle
or
the
less
twine
tickle?
in basketball when you make a big shot.
Oh, gotcha.
The S-tickle
Yes,
right
yes,
there,
yes,
man.
okay. S-tickle.
Guess you haven't made it to the S-tickle before. That's
No, I don't think I want to go.
Yikes. 10:30 midnight at or 10:30
midnight.
10:30 to midnight downtown on Friday. It's the same kind of club.
Be there 10:30 midnight.
It's a state championship basketball. I know a guy.
There's at least one girl in there named Infinity.
Yeah, that's right. And beyond. And beyond. Looking right now at
Good time for a break. Just
saying.
combine right now. What quarterback? Jordan Love?
That's Patrick Mahomes.
That's Mahomes.
No, I'm saying is Jordan. I'm not looking at the TV with you guys. I'm saying, do you
Oh,
think Jordan
you're
Love
missing
has
out.
the most to prove from the combine? There was a question there, not the
That's a
television
good
watch. You
question.
got
I think
3
he does have
to
plenty
0
to
right now.
prove.
We're getting mirrors in here. I'm so tired of this.
I think he.
If
Can
I
we
didn't watch
Can
all
we
of
get air
these-
conditioning first?
It's going to be a really hard time to know like close games though. We're reading the backwards numbers though.
Infinity's in favor of mirrors.
On this note, we'll go ahead and take a break. Jordan Love. Not too much love from these guys.
Once upon a time, there was a nice house that lived with a family. The house loved the family and took care of them. One day, it started to rain and rain. The house wanted to protect the family, but the water got inside and ruined everybody's everythings. The house was so sad, but the family didn't think it could happen. They told the house that they would take better care of her, always.
Protect what matters. Learn more about your flood risk at floodsmart.gov/care.
Here are the ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM contest rules. You can win one prize per household per contest in any 30-day period, unless specified by individual contest rules. All prizes are non-transferable, non-redeemable for cash, or exchangeable for any other contest prize. Prizes must be redeemed within a 30-day period of winning and must be 18 years of age or older to win. For a complete list of rules, visit ESPNpensacola.com.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big, flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen. With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom. Oh, dilly dilly.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
1033, home invasion, 3 detained.
Description.
Mouse, female, spreading disease, contaminating food.
Copy that.
Termite, male, property damage.
Go ahead.
Stinging insect, male, triggered allergic reaction, major health risk.
Pests like mice, cockroaches, termites, and stinging insects pose real health and property risks. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. That's PEST world.org.
A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
You can watch Chad on the Sports Drive live right now on our YouTube channel at ESPN Pensacola 1330.
Well, the guy who stole the combine today was a punter, Michael Turk, who had the best bench, 6'2", 230-pounder, put up 25 reps of 225. Way to waste a good combine. There's not one guy out there be like, you know what? Let's not pay any attention to his legs. Let's just go with what he's doing up there, up top. He's got a nice chest when he walks through there. He could walk through the locker room. A couple of the ladies will be like, that guy. Come on, dude. You know, you can. That's why Janikowski's can look like they just left Shoney's, and nobody's going to say anything because they can kick 60-yard field goals. What a waste of a great rep. Well,
he's a punter.
Good for you. Good for you.
He's just not a straight-up kicker. He's a punter, so he still has to be in shape.
Okay,
and he
upper
also
body
averages,
is not that important, though.
Well,
outside of being able to physically,
hold on.
Upper body, as long as you can catch the football, is not that important.
So a punter can go out and be a fat slob?
Well, that you're not.
This is the baddest punter. Tell this guy to his face. Mr. Patriots?
Chad, if you hired Scott Cochran for your special teams coach, you might need to make a tackle as a punter.
All right, let's play the game in the NFL. Let's play the game in the NFL, and we've all coached and we've been around that. So let's play the game in the NFL. What is the most irrelevant position
Kicker.
To the bench? Okay, what's number 2?
So what does it matter what number 2 is?
What do you mean?
Hold on. So you're saying what a waste to a guy. You're coming after the guy.
You just said what does number 2 mean?
Averaging 47 yards a punt. 47 yards a punt.
That's important.
So hold on.
That's important.
Let me go ahead and change my body, Chad, so I can get 40 yards a punt, but I can be a piece of trash. Thank you, Chad. That's why you're not an NFL coach or an agent. Thank you. Move on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Chad. No, he'll change his body to fit you so he can punt 40 yards and be nothing.
I did not say he needs to look like a sloth. I'm just saying that the guy, this is not that important to his job. Wait, if you had no clue, okay, we have never seen this guy punt, but you see these reps. How much are you putting on that as if that you're going to draft that guy? Just answer that question.
None.
You've never seen him punt. None. That's what I'm saying. It's irrelevant to his job. We're just excited. We can go down to the Y right now in Pensacola and watch some big dude in his 50s right now doing some pumps and be like, dude, that's an impressive bro.
You're coming after
but that's what I'm saying is like it's cool, but it's irrelevant. That guy's a lawyer for Clark Partington next door. It's irrelevant to his job that guy can do reps. It's good that he's keeping himself in shape for his family.
Why let anybody do the reps there? Other than
I don't know why. I don't know why punters and kickers are doing reps.
Why does a quarterback need to do it? Why does a wide receiver need to do it?
Because upper body strength is important to all those positions. You're using your
to
upper
a quarterback?
body. Yes, that's where you throw.
Look at Tom Brady. Bull crap. I call bull crap on that. Tom Brady, come on. That dude probably benches 135.
One, though, uses upper body. The other is a punter. He uses his leg.
Quarterback, you have abs, and you have your shoulder to throw the football. Ask a pitcher in baseball. Those guys aren't going out repping things. It's more important about the arm strength than the bicep. You know that you should know this as a pitcher and played quarterback. You got these big, strong biceps. Oh, yeah, you're jacked. What is that going to do? It's going to limit your ability to throw the football.
You've got to be kidding me, though, if you really think for 2 seconds, though, that I'm not saying you have to look like the guy that isn't really disabled but using a card at Walmart at midnight. You don't have to look like that. That needs help. I don't help those people. If they are actually need help, I will help with, like, the groceries. You know, they always go for Frosted Flakes or one of the ones with, you know, it's never King Vitamin. But if you go for one of those cereals, you know, these people, they don't have to look like that. We know midnight Walmart, you're going to get some characters. I'm not saying that, but to be a guy that's like looking like Ryan Shazier when he was before, sadly, the situation, but a guy that built, we don't need them as a kicker to look like that or a punter. It's great that he did this, but this is what it says in the headline. Punter Michael Turk steals show on his benches. Great for him, but irrelevant. If I'm a guy marking down the pencil, be like, great, how far does he kick it? I mean, that to me is important.
What is the combine? What is the most important thing with the combine for all these players? Especially guys like that. They're punters. They're lucky to get drafted. Let's be honest. First impression. This is big for them.
You can say, do some reps.
Okay, but this guy is a good punter, Chad. He's already good.
Okay.
So the fact of him benching helps him. It does. You can say what you want. If you take the same punter and put him in a terrible body, then what is the thing as a coach? You think about this now. Think about it as a player. He doesn't take care of himself. He doesn't care.
Well, okay.
Come on. Well, it's a first impression.
Did that not get Janikowski paid $30 million?
That's just
well, guy looks like he just left. The guy that says last
Chad.
call.
All right, that's
last
fine.
Call.
So none of it matters. For punters out there listening right now, go be slobs as long as you can punt. That's fine. Have no ability to care about your body. Don't work out. Don't do none of that. Worry about your lower body. That's all you need, Chad. Thank you for all those punters out there. You guys that think you're not athletes.
First off, he's from Arizona State, and the conversation we had to start the show was Arizona State is the #1 party school. You got to keep yourself looking good for those Playboy girls. I'm just saying, if you're going to be out there. So this guy.
All I'm saying, people should be embarrassed a punter stole the show. Look, that was more than defensive linemen in the past and all these other big guys. Frank Clark, the linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, beat him out. Beat guys like that. Just think about that for a minute. These big, strong guys. Oh, yeah, and a punter beat you out. That's more embarrassing to the other guys. He beat out every tight end except one and beat out all the wide receivers. Shame on you.
He didn't beat out UCF's Shaquem Griffin with one arm. He did not. How are you going to respond to that? He didn't. He didn't.
Well,
though.
Shaquem Griffin can tackle with just one arm.
That's right.
He's pretty ugly.
That was the best reps of any linebacker. Good transition to end this segment. When we come back, we're going to get
Zero
some more.
cents.
Congratulations. Go Knights. Go Griffin. That was awesome. Help win a fake national title.
Topgolf Swing Suite at Beau Rivage is the latest way to play, unwind, and relax. Featuring massive screens and a selection of exciting virtual games, fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. Looking for something different to do for date night, family night, or simply hanging with friends? It's an experience like no other. Perfect for private parties and events as well. Visit BeauRivage.com to book your bay today. Topgolf Swing Suite at Beau Rivage. It's where leisure meets play.
Football season never ends on Talk Football with Coach K.
Stidham is tearing it up at New England. He may well be the incumbent to Tom Brady there.
Former head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Coach K brings his expertise as he breaks down the game, the players, the coaches, and the front office. Plus, high-profile interviews from the biggest names in football. Talk Football with Coach K every weekday from noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 FM 99.1.
Join us in Seville Quarter March 7th from 12 to 7 for Cordova Crawfish Company's Crawfish for a Cause, presented by Truist Bank and Sandy Sansing dealerships. Tickets are $20 in advance, $25 at the event. When you help yourself to 3 pounds of Cajun crawfish, corn, potatoes, and sausage, you're also helping your community. Through our partnership with Rally Pensacola, Crawfish for a Cause supports local families struggling with childhood cancer. We'll have live music and drink specials throughout the family-friendly event, and other food options are available. Buy tickets and learn more at crawfishforacause.com.
During these tough economic times, it's easy to lose sight of the importance of saving for the future. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling wants you to know there are simple steps to set aside dollars each month. The most important is reviewing all your monthly expenses and establishing a household budget. Need help getting started? Speak with a certified credit counselor who can help map out a plan for you. Call the NFCC at 800-388-2227. This has been a public service message from the NFCC.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The greatest name in sports radio is ESPN. Wherever you have Alexa, you can hear ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Just say,
Alexa, enable ESPN Pensacola 1330 skill.
Talk football every day with Pensacola's own Coach K.
Credit a great performance by Garoppolo. And I love the way he throws the football. He's got all the things going for him.
Every weekday, noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1.
the teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
And welcome back. This song always reminds me of the L.A. Angels, I guess you have to say, of Anaheim. But you remember that? Adam Kennedy, Garrett Anderson, when the game was played holy? Back in the old days when everything was the right way.
Exactly. Back before
Tim Salmon.
Before you could pound on garbage cans in the dugout. let everybody know what the pitch is.
Speaking of Pound, Dick Pound, the IOC,
one
of the guys in charge of the committee. Almost. David Tanner was like a 5-year-old child with that. I mean, I'm pretty obviously Dick Pound's a funny name. This is real, but he is in charge of the Olympics, so he's getting brought up.
What's his real name, Chad?
Richard William Duncan Dick Pound. That's his nickname.
I would bet
Canadian swimmer.
I'm going to guess that Tanner would have a good time with that.
He did. It was very funny.
I had to mute his mic.
Yeah.
It was so bad. He went on. I just got him. I couldn't
Tanner's
deal with it.
actually got a good sense of humor.
He's got a middle school sense of humor. It's great. I mean,
well, Dick Pound does have a big decision in the palm of his hands to make right now based on, is he going to decide whether or not are we going to keep the Olympics? He has 3 months to pretty much decide this.
I know what you did.
I don't even know, but I'm just saying this one's not an easy answer here.
You're talking about the coronavirus and the Olympics, and I mean it
stiff
decision. It really is, but I think that disease control, if we fund it,
there's a lot of bells and whistles to jump through.
The way we need to fund it can probably control it worldwide before the Olympics, and
I hope.
Yeah, I think I would. And plus, you could have disease control people all over the place.
Yeah.
And at the Olympics and Olympic Village.
Hand sanitizer everywhere. Just make sure.
We've got ours in here, actually.
We do.
Right. Somewhere in here. Here it is. Look. Here you go, Chad.
Yeah.
You need it more than anybody. You stay sick.
Would that work on
Actually, this is the
small
sad
hands
part.
like Joe Burrow?
The sad part is
Probably not.
I have been quarantined for bronchitis for almost a month and a half, and he got it too. But I've been to the doctor 4 times, been on the Z-Packs and all that. I'm finally getting better. Like 2 weeks ago. I mean, actually, last week was the first time I felt good. I come to the office, and everybody is sick, and we've got hand sanitizer. So that's great timing for me.
Well, that's not only is it
nobody else in radio cares
sanitizing, but it smells good.
Absolutely.
Can Joe Lenardi change that photo right there? Look.
What photo?
He looks like the guy. This is sorry, Joe.
Listen,
I actually know.
Joe Lenardi's not going to get any better looking with a different photo.
No, but he looks like the photo they're using on bracketology right now looks. This is terrible. Sorry. Looks like the clown putt from Happy Gilmore. And it spits it back out there. This is like it's right in your face.
Lenardi's
like
always smiling.
Yeah, so was that.
I bet
clown.
you wouldn't say that if he could bench press 225 25 times.
You saw what happened to the clown, too. You're not laughing now, clown. All right. You know what? Guys, appreciate it. Wisconsin right now with a 10-point lead for the Badger fans out there over Michigan. Big game to punch their ticket. Nice win for the Gators.
Yes, indeed.
Like
the Gators need to
Yeah.
win at least one of the next 3 to get in the tournament.
We'll talk some Florida baseball and get into some more. I know we do. We have 3 seconds. Guys, great rest of your night, and God bless.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, Sports Call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
ESPN Radio.